Hello guys and welcome back to Haymanager with me Alex, and today we'll be looking at which goalkeeper should be playing for England in the Euro 2021 competition. So first of all we're going to look through the three different goalkeepers that are potentially going to be going to the Euro 2021. I believe it'll be these three goalkeepers that'll be going, and then we'll see which one deserves that number one spot in the starting 11. So first player we shall look at is Nick Pope. His statistics for this season, all the three players will be looking at the 2020 to 21 season. And matches played, he's played 28 so far this year, 2,520 minutes he's got in the gloves, and also he's conceded 32 goals, which is just over a goal per game. Now that is pretty impressive considering that Burnley are in the lower half of the Premier League table. So amassing that amount of goals, you'd probably think he'd get conceded maybe a few more, but obviously he's done very well in that Burnley back five. Clean sheets, he's managed to get 9, he's managed to get nice amount of clean sheets, to be honest. 9 clean sheets considering where they are. It's around about a third of it's basically a third of the games that we'll be getting a clean sheet, which is very impressive considering that Burnley aren't particularly very strong at the back. They're a very defensive side, but very, very impressive for Nick Pope to be getting 9 clean sheets. And then 101 saves, which is near enough 4 saves per game for Nick Pope, which proves how vital he is to this Burnley side. 101 saves is absolutely astronomical. It sort of shows how great he is as a goalkeeper. His stature in that net. He's tall. He can also get to the balls in the air. His command of the area is absolutely fantastic. Comes out, punches the ball from corners, that sort of thing. He's very physical, but as well as that, he's very nimble on his feet. He's great at pulling off the saves into the top corners. He's had a few fantastic saves this year. The only thing that maybe lets him down is perhaps in the modern game, especially with how England will play under Gareth Southgate, is how he receives the ball and distributes it in ways that will perhaps hinder the side, because Burnley mostly punt it long up front to either Wood or Vydra up there. So we'll have to see how he copes, but I think Nick Pope has a pretty good argument to be the number one goalkeeper for England in this tournament. We then move forward to the second goalkeeper, is Dean Henderson. 15 matches played, 1,335 minutes he's managed to get under his belt. Goals conceded 9, I mean, it's nearly half, it's near enough half. He's done pretty well, only conceding 9. It's probably testament to how well he has played and he's been called upon to actually play in these games. It's pretty impressive how he's only conceded 9 goals. He does play in the majority of the cup competitions, but he has been called upon ever since David De Gea has had his child. Clean sheets, he's managed to get 9, which is very impressive considering. I know you might say he's been playing in cup competitions where he's not particularly faced hard or difficult sides, but I think that's pretty impressive. 9 clean sheets in only 15 games for a Manchester United side that you would probably scrutinise their back four towards the start of the season especially. I think that's pretty good. It's a nice little record for Dean Henderson, and making 39 saves, it proves that he is kept on his feet around 2.5 saves per game. Not as many as 4 as Nick Pope, but he's still kept on his toes and he still pulls off a few saves. So Dean Henderson, a guy who's very physical, comes out a lot, very vocal, command of the area is absolutely fantastic. That's been a bit of a difference since David De Gea has left the side. Not as nimble as David De Gea, but a bit more nimble than Nick Pope, for example, where we saw him at Sheffield last season, where he pulled off a few reflex saves. It's been fantastic for Sheffield United last season. So yeah, I think 39 saves sort of sums up he's pretty decent at shot stopping, but has he played enough games for Manchester United this season? I don't believe so. 15 games isn't enough to sort of qualify to play in a Euros, the year of running up to a Euros. Maybe if Euros did go ahead last year, sadly they didn't because of obviously the pandemic, but if they had gone along last season, you'd probably put a decent argument in that Dean Henderson might have to start, but we'll have to see how he fares for the rest of the season. Last player we look at is Jordan Pickford. So Jordan Pickford in the 2020-21 season, he's played 24 games so far, getting 2,160 minutes under his belt. Goals conceded, 30 goals. It's quite a lot considering that Everton are in the top 6, which is a bit of a scary sign for me. I mean, conceding a goal per game near enough when you're an Everton side that are in the top 6, they're fighting for Europe, it's a bit worrying, should we say, because obviously Everton have had to outscore their opponents, and if they're conceding a goal per game, it's very rare for them to actually rely on a Jordan Pickford as much as they do as on their strikers. So it's a bit of a worry. That 6 clean sheets sort of complements that. He's not as many as Nick Pope, although he has played 4 less games, but disregarding that point, 6 clean sheets for a team that's in the top 6 contending for top 4, a bit worrying. But he has made 72 saves, which is near enough 3 saves again. He's exactly 3 saves a game. So you've got to give it him. He did represent us in the 2016 World Cup where he had a fantastic run out. He's very eccentric. He like to come out and get touches of the ball. He does like to distribute the ball. He's a very good distributor of the ball. You've got to give Jordan Pickford that one. But whether or not he can sort of command his area or not, because he's not the biggest sort of presence in the box, yeah, we'll have to see what he can do in the coming weeks, whether or not he can redeem himself towards the end of the season for Everton. And if Everton get top 4, perhaps even if they get top 5, top 6, I can see Jordan Pickford being favoured by Gareth Southgate. Such a fantastic season. So I'll just line them up side by side. I've got, if you're wondering why I'm looking this way, I've got them on my screen on the left. As of course you'll have them on your screen as well. Dean Henderson, Jordan Pickford and Nick Pope. You have to apologise if I do call either Pickford or Henderson Jordan Henderson, because mixture of the two. But matches played, as you can see, Pickford and Nick Pope are sort of running away with that, near enough double the amount of games as Dean Henderson. But goals conceded wise, you're looking at probably the best one being Dean Henderson. That's probably testament to his back four that will be played in front of him, but also probably the opponents he's faced. Jordan Pickford playing majority of the Premier League games and Nick Pope definitely playing the majority of the Premier League games. Conceding 32, Nick Pope is an incredibly impressive record considering Burnley's position at the moment. And as well as that, Jordan Pickford 30 goals conceded, probably a bit of a worry considering where Everton are. Clean sheets, we've got 9 for both Nick Pope and Dean Henderson. Very impressive for Dean Henderson, I believe. Despite the fact that he is obviously facing less shots, he has got a more impressive back four. You'd probably say Dean Henderson is pretty impressive for him to have 9 clean sheets, but underwhelming on the other side for Jordan Pickford to have 6, considering where Everton are. We then look at the more interesting stat, which is save percentages, and saves percentages and saves themselves sort of shows how efficient a goalkeeper is. So the save percentage would be how many shots they've faced and how many shots they've saved. The percentage wise, 81% for Jordan Henderson. For Dean Henderson, he's fantastic. 82% is really good. It shows that he's saving the majority. Out of 5 shots, he's saving 4. So he's doing very, very well up there. Same with Jordan Pickford, but you're probably looking at him perhaps to make a few more saves than that. 72%, around 10% less than Dean Henderson. It's not fantastic. Nick Pope sitting on 77%. For a good goalkeeper, you're looking at 75%. 75% is the target. For every 4 shots you face, you're saving 3. You're hoping the other one goes wide or hits the post. It's one of those. I think Nick Pope's done very well there to get 77%, considering he's saved 101. He's probably had to face the most amount of shots out of all these players. So for him to get 77%, very impressive. For Dean Henderson to get 81%, just shows how valuable and how impressive his stats, his saving ability is, considering how few shots, I should say, he's had to face. We then look at passes and pass completion, and this is sort of regarding how the modern game is played and how these goalkeepers line up against each other. So passes completed by Dean Henderson, 139 as we can see there, 535 by Jordan Pickford, and then 421 by Nick Pope. But the more impressive stats is the pass completion percentage. So 75% for Dean Henderson is pretty impressive to say the least. You've got to look at whether or not he's making those passes efficiently, if they're completing the passes as well. And 75% is a great statistic. You're looking at him launching them long, passing them short. He's probably passing them, majority of them short, but he's doing pretty well with them. And then 535 passes completed by Jordan Pickford. That's very impressive. 65% as well is very good considering they do go long. He does try a bit more of an ambitious ball, but 535 passes completed, and the sheer amount of passes he's probably tried, and if you've got 65% completion record, is unreal. We then look at Nick Pope. Nick Pope is a bit bad at this point. 51% is testament probably to the Sean Dyche style of play, where they do launch the ball long towards Wood and Vidra, but 421 passes completed and only 50% completion percentage. It's not very good. It's not very good at the end of the day. The pass completion has to be a bit better for Nick Pope to really secure that Gareth Southgate #1 position. And then we look at the touches per 90. Touches per 90 is an interesting one. It shows how comfortable a goalkeeper is receiving the ball and how many touches they have per game, basically. So 27.2 for Dean Henderson, which shows he's comfortable receiving the ball quite a bit, but I wouldn't say too much. 41 for Jordan Pickford is fantastic. 41 touches per game shows that he's confident receiving the ball. He doesn't really mind what he's doing. He'll play the ball off, he's playing simple passes, he's happy receiving the ball. Nick Pope, 33.5, probably not the way that Sean Dyche likes to play football, but Nick Pope, again, comfortable to take the ball, but probably not comfortable to take the ball as much as a Jordan Pickford, but definitely more than a Dean Henderson, or probably needs to more than a Dean Henderson. So, as for my own personal opinion, I think this year probably, controversially, I'd say Nick Pope probably deserves the number 1 call-up. He's had an absolutely outstanding season. He's been incredibly consistent throughout. Even when Burnley were going through a dark stage, they were only losing like by 1 or 2 goals, and even then he's managed to keep 9 clean sheets for a side that have struggled in the first half of the season. They went and beat Liverpool, where he faced a very difficult game in the Liverpool game, to be honest. And I think Nick Pope's just been very reliable. He's more physical in the air. The game's adapting where he probably does need to receive the ball a bit more, and his pass completion probably needs to bit of work on it. But yeah, I think he's more than ready to make that number 1 start. Jordan Pickford just missing out. I'd probably say rotate them just to see which ones find the form earlier. But Jordan Pickford, I'm afraid, doesn't make mine purely because of the sheer amount of goals he concedes. Whether or not the back 4 might change that, because they are playing with Holgate, Digne, a lot of attacking defenders in that sort of back 4 for Everton. But Jordan Pickford should be making a few more. Well, should not be conceding as many as he is, to put it that way. And then Dean Henderson, it's a shame for Dean Henderson, because if he had probably taken another loan out at Sheffield United, he'd have probably made this side. So yeah, to conclude, I'd love to know who you think will be the number 1 goalkeeper and who you think should be the number 1 goalkeeper. It's probably 2 different opinions there, who will and who you think should be. I'd love to see down below what you think. I'd love some feedback on this sort of series. I'll be doing defenders, midfielders and forwards in the coming weeks, whether or not I can get the stats all put together ready for the Euros. But yeah, I hope you did enjoy this sort of different video. If you did, leave a like, subscribe if you are new, comment down below who you'd pick for your number 1 goalkeeper, and I shall catch you in the next episode. As ever, thanks for watching.